Boys and girls, today we are doing lesson 23, session 3, and you're on page 525 in your math books. And on page 525, it says, what time do these clocks show? So we've been talking a lot about the hour hand and how the hour hand is shorter and the minute hand is longer, which is kind of interesting because an hour is longer as far as time is concerned. An hour is 60 minutes and a minute is only 60 seconds. So if that helps you at all, knowing that they're opposites, and that's kind of silly. So the hour hand is shorter, the minute hand is longer. You have the hour hand just past the 9, which means it's not 10 o'clock, it's still 9 o'clock because it hasn't gone up to the 10 yet. Now the longer hand is pointing to the 6, and I brought a real clock that has the real time on it so you guys could see a little bit better about clocks. So clocks all have these tiny little notches, and these tiny little notches, there are 60 of those tiny little notches. All right, so when this long hand goes by, each one of those, that's a minute. Okay, so it goes by those, that's a minute. This little hand that's moving pretty quick, that's a second hand, but we're not even going to talk about the second hand. We have hours, minutes, and seconds, but don't pay attention to that second hand. So this minute hand goes by, and every time it has 60 seconds, this minute hand will move one time. Every time this minute hand moves 60 minutes, the hour hand moves from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and so on and so forth. On the clock, you have 1 to 12 because the hour hand goes around twice completely. It'll go 1 to 12 once, 1 to 12 twice. There's 24 hours in a day. 12 plus 12 is 24. Okay, so in those, you have these little notches. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it lands on 5. 5 minutes is at the 1 o'clock. 10 minutes is at the 2. So right now it is 6:10 because it's pointing at the 2. It is 6:10. And notice how my hour hand is getting closer because every minute that passes after 6 o'clock, I'm getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock. So you have 5 minutes at the 1, 10, 15, 20. What you're doing is you're skip counting by 5s because it's a shortcut, like our base, not our base 10, but our tally marks, they were in bundles of 5, right? So every one is 5 minutes. So if you need to know where it is to get to the long hand, you start at the 12 and it's 0. So you say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. And then when it gets back up, the minute hand gets to the 12, you don't say 60, you say o'clock. All right. So with this, it is 9, it's not quite there. It is 9:30. 9:30. That's what time it is. On the next page, it shows you that. It says, okay, so if an hour is 60 minutes and they've cut it in half, and the minute hand has gone from 9 o'clock all the way to 9:30, that is 30 minutes or half an hour, because an hour is 60 minutes. A half an hour is halfway through there. 30 minutes is half of 60. 30 is half of 60. Okay, so in those lines, you're going to write, it is 30 minutes after 9. It is 9:30 or 9:30 as the book writes it. It is half past 9. The next page has number 2. Buzz says 9:30 is halfway between the hours of 9 and 10. So 30 minutes is the same as a half an hour. Do you agree? Why or why not? Yes, I agree with him because 30 minutes is half an hour. An hour is 60. You go around one full circle. Well, 30 is half of that circle, so it's half of that. Okay, so I would write, yes, I agree. Yes, because 30 is half of 60. So if an hour is 60 minutes, a half hour is 30 minutes. So Buzz is correct. Number 3 has the time a 7 and then 30 on the end. So you would write on those lines, it is 7:30 or 7:30. It is 30 minutes after 7. It is 7:30. The next one has a 1. So you would write, it is 30 minutes after 1. It is 1:30. And the bottom one says it is 1:30. Number 5, Dan starts cooking at 4 o'clock. I'm now on page 528 and you have 2 clocks. One says start and the other one says finish. So starts at 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, halfway through, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock. Dan starts cooking at 4 o'clock. Dan finishes cooking at 4:30. Draw hands on the clocks to show the times. So he starts up here at 4 o'clock. Now I know o'clock, the minute hand is going to go there. The hour hand is going to point right at that 4. So he starts at 4 o'clock. Dan finishes cooking at 4:30. So I'm going to draw my little knob there. My minute hand is going to go all the way down to the 6 because I know the 6 is halfway. Okay. 5, 6, half of 12 is 6. Half of 60 is 30. The 6 is 30 to 30 or halfway through. If you take the circle, it's halfway there. Then I'm going to take it, it's 4:30. So my 4 is in between the 4 and the 5. My 4 is moving closer to 5 because then it's going to be 4:45, 4:50, 4:55, and then it's going to be 5 o'clock. So this is what your start clock should look like, and this is what your finish clock should look like. Number 6, it is 12:30. Show the time on both clocks. So 12:30 is going to past. We know halfway is at the 6. Now 12:30, it's not quite to the 1 yet because it's still 12. It's 12:30. So then on the digital clock, it's going to look like this. It's all robotic, 12:30. There you go. Extra bonus points if you drew it all robotic like that because it's a digital clock. This is digital, analog, digital, analog. The next couple of pages are practicing telling time. So it says, look at the example, then solve problems 1 through 5. Number 1 down below the example, it is, what time is it? It is not quite 12. So it is 11:30. It is 11:30. It is 30 minutes after 11. It is 11:30. The next one, number 2, says it is 30 minutes after, and the hour hand is after the 5. So it is 30 minutes after 5. It is 5:30. It is 5:30. So those are 3 different ways of saying the same thing. So it is 30 minutes after 5. I could say, oh, it's 30 minutes after 5. Mom, what time is dinner? Well, it's 5:30. Or it's 5:30. Or it's 30 minutes after 5. You can wait. All right. Those are 3 different ways of saying the same thing. Number 3, it is 1:30. Show this time on both clocks. So on the analog clock, the minute hand is going to go down to the 6 because that is 30. The hour hand is going to go halfway because I'm halfway to 2 o'clock. It's going to go halfway between the 1 and the 2. And then on a digital clock, it looks like this. There's 1:30. It is 2:30. Show this time on both clocks. 2:30. Well, I'm going to keep my minute hand at the 6 because that's halfway through the circle, halfway through the hour. Now I'm going to draw my hour hand halfway between my 2 and 30. So it should be halfway between the two because it's right in between 2 and 3 o'clock. It's halfway, half past. Now I'm going to write it on the digital 2:30. Number 5, Imani starts eating at 6 o'clock. Imani finishes eating at 6:30. Draw hands on the clocks to show the time. When does she start and when does she finish? So she starts eating at 6 o'clock. So we know o'clock is pointing to that 12, and there is 6 o'clock. This is when she starts, and here's when she's done or when she finishes. 12, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, when is she done? She finishes eating at 6:30. So halfway is here. And now my hour hand is almost to that 7. It's halfway in between. So it is 6:30. So it's 6, not quite yet 7, but the minute hand is on there. So this is 6:30. The hour hand is moving closer to the 7 because the minute hand is moving closer to the 7. All right, I think you guys are done for today. So that's awesome. Yes, tomorrow we will do session 4, and I'll see you then. Bye, friends.